Okay, I would like to, last week we discussed a little bit, and I'm not going to get involved into it, though I saw much on the subject this week about the meaning of having the main part of the Purim Seuda be on Tetzvov by night. I would like to focus on here it speaks about when Purim is on Friday, having the Seuda on Friday morning and not Friday afternoon. Okay? Purim b'yom shishi yasa Seuda shachris mishum kavod Shabbos. Now, if somebody reads that line, I believe that they would have tough resh tzadik hey sif beis. They would have a feeling, I have no better word to use, a feeling that doing it in Shachris is a b'diavad, and just when it's on Friday, then you should do it in the morning. This is what it says. Shechal Purim b'yom shishi yasa Seuda b'shachris mishum kavod Shabbos. No, that's...
they're probably eating late because of Shabbos.
So what should it say? Shechal Purim b'yom Shabbos yakdim Seuda. Right? No, Yasa b'shachris sounds like normally you wouldn't say to do it b'shachris.
Which is true.
Why is it true?
When it's not on a Friday.
Why is it true?
Because it's usually the first time.
How do you know that? That's exactly what I'm asking you. Where'd you get that from? You must have been reading Lev's invitation or something. What? Where'd you get that from?
At least for the technical.
No, the only thing it says is that you shouldn't do it at night. You should do it. You should. But no, we never discussed. There's a given that we're doing it in the afternoon, and we changed the given that when Purim is on Friday to do it in the morning. But as that there's really a value in doing it in the afternoon. Does such a thing exist?
You have to get the mincha sober.
What?
You have to get the mincha sober, no?
Amar Moyid. I ate breakfast. I had a revius of wine. I went to sleep. I'm up at 8:15 after my nap.
At night.
Not at night. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. Okay, so I would like to just touch on this subject. I don't think this is a subject which is discussed too much, but that's what it seems to say. Misha writes a lasoy say tamid b'shachris harshus biyadei. Harshus biyadei.
He can if he wants.
Is that? What's that?
That's what we know you have to do in the afternoon.
And then the Mishnah Berurah said, don't forget to get your family together because but we don't want you to do this.
Why don't we want you to do this?
That's what it says.
No, this is the subject which we're discussing. I understand. My Mishnah Berurah has dots. I used to call them vowels when I was a kid. When we were young, we called them dots. My Mishnah Berurah has dots. I can read too. Okay, so I would like to share with you something. This is I forgot to bring from my house over here. I have Moshe Sternbuch's rebuttal to this tshuva. But Menashe Koton has a tshuva as follows: Ivra mira'atenira otam dafka la'acher Shalach Manos la'acher achila v'lo koidem. We do before. And that's what we learned last week, that the Mishnah Berurah says that the reason why we eat later is because we're busy doing Shalach Manos. So I'd just like to, since it's Purim, I'd like to share with you a Jewish thought. This thought is in my opinion, the line of demarcation between the Litvaks and the Chassidim. Rabbi Eiger, he was a Litvak, by the way. Rabbi Eiger had a grandson whose name was Rabbi Leibel Eiger, who was a Chassidish Rebbe. and he was still very close to his grandfather, Rabbi Eiger. And he came one morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, to discuss a sugya with his grandfather. And his grandfather, I used to know what sugya this was and what the piece was. I don't remember those particulars right now. I know who I could find out from them what they were, someone in the family. And Rabbi Eiger was very pleased with his grandson's diligence in Limud Torah. And he said to him, after he finished, make a bracha, take something to eat. So he said, Zed, I can't. He says, why can't I? I didn't daven shachas yet. So he looks at his watch, and he says, why did you daven shachas? He says, I woke up late. Why do you wake up late? Because I went to sleep late. Why do you go to sleep late? Because I was learning late. So Rabbi Eiger says to his Einikel, go to sleep on time, wake up on time, and daven on time. Right? So that's the litvak. Zok the chassid to the Zayda, if I would have known last night that I'm going to wake up this morning, I would listen to you. Yisrael, you didn't get it? This is a fascinating... You know what the word chaparine means? Why should you chaparine? Because later, right now I have a mitzvah to learn. Tomorrow, mañana. You know what that means? That you know, right? You speak Yiddish. Right? Mañana. Now I have a mitzvah to learn. I should go to sleep and forfeit a mitzvah of limud Torah now because tomorrow I have to daven? Do I have a guarantee I'm going to be mekayim that mitzvah? A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Now you understand? Okay.
Did he clean for Pesach? Or he was going?
I wasn't there. Anyways, so this was the showdown between the grandfather and the grandson. Okay?
I would say you read this at lyrics, maybe.
This is not a different. No, this is a different perspective. It's not you read this at lyrics. This is a different perspective. It's how is one supposed to. This is the same Rabbi Leibel Eiger that answers a different Rabbi Eiger's kasha. That there's a question about going dalaramis for to make a gzeri, you're not allowed to shake lulav and esrig on Shabbos because maybe you're giving maver dalaramis. So the question is, when a person walks, remember how it goes when a person walks, so he stops in the middle, and then it's not going to be a Nisa Derais, it's only Nisa Derabanan, so they shouldn't have been geyser. So it says when it comes to doing a mitzvah, you jump, and you jump dalaramis, that's for sure. No, this is a different approach to life. This is not just a local issue. Anyways, so we do Shalach Manos beforehand. One of my Purim questions that doesn't deserve an answer, but perhaps it should be answered anyways, is we have a klal that we don't eat before we're mekayim a mitzvah. So perhaps we shouldn't eat before we're mekayim the Seuda. No, it's not a joke. Okay? So perhaps you'll answer the question that you can be yaitza. What? You can be yaitza with whatever it is that you're eating. You're not allowed to eat a kibetza. Could be yaitza with a kibetza. That's if you hold you don't have to wash. It's not likuva to wash. There's some place can maybe hold that you do have to wash. Right? Oh, well, this tshuva discusses that. If it's just kavanah, you need that for this mitzvah or not. But here it's a Purim question, but perhaps it deserves an answer to this question. What about before you give Shalach Manos Matanos L'Evyonim? Are you allowed to eat?
I thought part of the purpose of the Shalach Manos is to only use it for the Seuda or Matanos L'Evyonim.
Yeah, but it's not a prerequisite You could be yet without it. You could be yet without it. So the question is, whatever it is, can I have my coffee and my piece of cake before I gave Shalach Manos?
The second half was harder than the first half.
Yeah. Can I have it or not? We don't find that there's a limitation. I've looked, I haven't found. And the question is, why not?
If you
But
take the word literally, Rav, if you take Shalach Manos literally, they're presents that we're sending by a shaliach. So the person will not know if the...
I don't have to worry about that, as long as I did mine.
When you sent them...
I answered your question. I'll tell it to you in a practical form. There's a discussion. He had a baby. It's the 8th day, and he commissioned me to be the moil. So there's a question if he's allowed to eat before the bris, and there's a question if I'm allowed to eat before the bris. And there's another question, if I'm not allowed to eat before the bris, does that mean he's allowed to eat before the bris? You understand? Now your question is answered?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right. Ivra me'ata nira otam dafka la'achar shalach manos la'achar achila v'loy koydem v'hu dabach v'sim tofresh pei v'al yirah b'kasu atam de shalach manos. This is fascinating. It was worthwhile to come here just to read this piece. The Bach Rabbi said the Shalach Manos who connected shtei matanos shenosan Achashverosh laEsther. Echad Beis Hamon, ve'echad hatabas. So we have the two monos that are what do we call them? They are symbolic, corresponding to those things. U'miyat al fi mashakosov hashlo. Delakach yesh lahaktim Seudas Purim ba'ashkama. He says always to do it in the morning. Kivon she has zecher l'Seudas Esther. She also saw b'shachris. She made her Seuda for them in the morning. The Kivon the Shalach Manos who keneged mash and nasan la Achashverosh Beis Haman v'atabas v'zeh achar hasuda. Imken kemod the besuda kivon she was zecher l'Seudas Esther boy dugma l'Suda lagdima bizman hasuda. Just like according to the Shla that you have to have the Seuda in the morning in order to represent the source of it. Imkain now achanami the in Shalach Manos the in the achar Seuda dafka she dugma the Manos the Esther that she got afterwards. Okay, and it's just like you're supposed to get shikar with wine and not with other things, etc.
Where does Matanos L'Evyonim fit in there?
Don't know. That's, I think, an extension of Shalach Manos. Okay, Matanos L'Evyonim. He has the whole piece of Matanos L'Evyonim. They're just, and they're Valbushim Meshunim B'Purim, Va'afilu Anoshim L'Noshim. V'shal akum, we like to get, we're not sure which is worse, look like women or like goyim. V'ksasum tzalcho min egzeh. Okay, v'ksasum yishu v'ayim v'magen Avrohom. V'chei Hilchos Purim oman kasavti v'tam de bezman hanes. Koydem sheyotzu harotzim lahashmi chas v'shalom hayahabi am ha'oretz sherotzu chas v'shalom lahachvif me'atzum lechapes b'shinim abushim v'shirei atzmo, in order that the goyim shouldn't know what they look like, that they should be able to hide from the goyim when the goyim are going to come to butcher the Jews. Etc. So since we look like goyim, then, by the way, are you allowed to dress up like a goy in order to be saved? How do you know? You said it with such certainty that I have no choice but to challenge it.
It's not one of the three, is it?
Story is that
So the Shvichas Davened for the Zara.
I don't have a makor.
What?
I read stories of great people doing just that, but I don't have a makor.
There's a Chuvas Haridvaz on this question. And this was during the Spanish Inquisition. There were Jews that dressed up like goyim, and this way people assumed that they already converted to Catholicism, and they weren't persecuted. And the truest Radraz asks, is one allowed to do that in order to avoid dying al Kiddush Hashem?
Perhaps that may be similar to the Ramah being Maramis, that you said that you switched faiths, even though you didn't say the word. So there, you're being Maramis, you switched faiths. It's not just Chukas HaGoyim.
But you're not doing Maramas anything. You're just taking.
Trying to show that
You're just taking. You're not. You're taking off. They don't know necessarily even who you are.
Right,
you're taking off suspicion.
He's trying to show that you've switched faiths.
No, you look like a regular guy. You look like a regular
guy.
guy. If you move to a different town,
Your Jewish identity.
you're just hiding your Jewish identity. And the Radraz has a long tshuva, and he says it's mutter. That's not called that you're. That's called laying low. That's what we call it where I come from. All right, laying low. So you're allowed to do that. Okay. So the Jews at that time, they didn't want to be persecuted, so they dressed up like goyim.
It's relevant now in these European cities. They tell people not to look like Jews when they're walking in the street.
You have to tell them.
I mean, it's a recommendation.
I'm saying, that's if you need that recommendation, then you're in trouble. If you need that recommendation, you should move. You should understand that by yourself. That's okay.
I remember hearing a shiur by Rabbi David Katz of Baltimore. Not only were you able to dress up like goyim, but in certain periods when Jewish people had to travel on business trips through dangerous areas, their wives or women that had to go with them, they dressed them as men so they would not be molested on the way. The goyim would see them dressed as men, so would not interfere with them. That's also the same din, probably.
Similar kind of a din. Okay, anyways, but this is a discussion. The Shlah and others say you should have the Seuda in the morning. There are those people who, and I know such people do this. There are people who are very particular on how to be Mekayim the mitzvah of getting drunk on Purim. It's not such an easy mitzvah to be Mekayim. So I know that there are those people that in the morning for breakfast, they wash and they eat with their breakfast, they drink with their breakfast a revius of wine, and then they go to sleep for a half hour to Mekayim the Shittis HaRamah. And then in the afternoon they're good to go. Right? That's a possibility. Anyways, continue. V'yesh amar sheyesh lechol machal zaronim bepurim, zechel zaronim she'achol Daniel v'chaver bevavel, v'toiv lasek ma'at batera kodim sheyaschal asuda. Now, this is a fascinating Ramah. Why should you do that? Because in the says v'samach hadavar la'Yehudim ha'is avis chol v'sasam ikar v'dashinu aris et Torah. So when should you learn?
That was after the Seuda.
Right?
After the Seuda?
That was after Seuda of Esther. Yeah.
After Esther Seuda. So why should we be learning?
Because we too drunk to learn
So
afterwards.
according to this, no Simcha is representative of the Seuda. That kind of it seems to be not going along the same halach as the Shlah. The Shlah is following the
Chronological order.
and he's following the order of the Megillah. He's following how things actually were mishtalshel, and the Megillah is laying down different Ramazim in a different order.
When was it? La'Yehudim ha'is avis chol ikar. Oh, you guys are rusty in the Megillah.
That was right before they hung
It was right away, as soon as they got the letter. It was well before.
It was before the Mishnah.
You tell me in 10 days.
Just like
The letter-
everyone
the letter
else
was-
probably won't know.
The letter was an outgrowth of the Mishnah. This only after.
The letter was?
The letter was from the Mishnah. Mishnah was by Pesach. This is already a year later, almost a year later.
Afterwards.
No. There was this story. The climax happened on Pesach, and the war
was
happened in Adar, almost a year later, right? And when the Jews got this thing that they could be likol lamar al nafshon, so then they were joyful. Which is before the Seuda.
Before which? Not before the Seuda of Esther.
No, it's before the war, before yeah, no, so it's after the Seuda of Esther, before the, but what? So when are you supposed to be celebrating this? Where does this fit into the deal?
Which one takes precedence? I mean, which one, when we're celebrating our meal, which meal are we celebrating? The Shlah is saying you're celebrating the chronological order of how things took place on the time. The Ramah is saying,
I don't know how you know that. When he says that happened first, right?
sorry,
The Shlah doesn't say
the Shlah is
that.
saying that we're doing
that
Seudas Esther,
right.
And the Ramah is saying we're doing.
L'chayra, if you would ask me, what Seuda are we doing? Al Ken HaYehudim HaProzim HaYeshim V'Eri HaProzos Osim.
After the
What? L'chayra. Al Ken. Al Ken, right? That's pretty good. The Gematria makes it sound like that's the reason, right? But we did it in a way to fashion it that it should look like that Seuda. Because that's part of the nest that happened. But we're celebrating the post-war. What are we celebrating?
Yes. We're celebrating the fact that we won the war. We killed everybody out, and that's why Yerushalayim does another day, because they continue in their killing.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So now we have a problem with the Shlah, right? So why is the Shlah doing it in the morning? No, you have a problem with the Shlah. I didn't say the Shlah has a problem. You have a problem with the Shlah. Right? How do you justify the Shlah? The answer is, even that Seuda which we made at that time, which we were celebrating our victory, we did it to mimic the garin of the victory, which was Esther's Seuda with Achashverosh and Haman.
We set it up in a time which it looked like that Seuda.
Yeah, because that was really the garin of our victory. We didn't win a war without. These are not two totally different instances. They're related. Okay. Anyways, all right. So Yesh Inyan, and I don't know. Maybe the shul should have some email that go out right before the Seuda with some Dvar Torah on it. Anyways, okay. V'dashino zetar v'chayev v'mishnu v'simcha ksas v'shnei hayomim yedal v'tesvav v'chei noagu v'yesh amrim dim hizik echad es chaver mikoach Simchas Purim potter mila shalem. And this is something which needs Hezbollah. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. No. Surah Shachris, Yud. Excuse me. V'hainu koydu chatzos l'chatchila v'ayim b'yanafrayim asher kostu b'shem ha'maril. Machol zarim b'layla rishayna. That's what Mishnah Berurah already said beforehand. Daniel chaver v'gam estach l'zarin kilamina perakama d'megillah. Okay. V'mhizik ayim b'bach l'machalek ben hezekad l'koton u'bein b'guf u'bein b'mamon l'b'hezekad l'makbidin v'ein minig liftor b'hezekad. Thank you. All right. Mikoyach Simchas Purim also Mikoyach Simcha. Avol im kiven lahazik chayev. That means you're not allowed to ram into the car in front of you on Purim because you're in a rush. Okay? It means that if in the banter of the Seuda something happened, then you're patur on it. That's what it means. In other words, if you're in somebody's house and they served you wine in a silver goblet or in a crystal goblet and it got dented or it broke, so then you're patur. Why? What?
Part of the ceremony.
And the Gemara, even if you kill someone, you're
How do you know?
There's the Gemara that he killed.
How do you know he's patur? Maybe just he brought him back to life, so then he can't kill him.
That's the way
How do you know he's patur?
That's the way to get out of it, is bring him back to life.
Just a nice
You know what?
way of
That's the way to get out of it.
Yeah, you know, it's like you don't know. The Gemara doesn't say what he was chayiv or pater on, right? You drew your own conclusion.
Yeah, we're clearly both around next year.
Yeah, but they didn't want it to happen again, right? It's, local.
Didn't want it to happen. Another one didn't.
The other one also didn't want it. Neither of them wanted it to happen.
But you invited him this next year.
But why do you think that he planned to kill him again?
Then the victim well, the victim
Clearly wasn't too
refused.
worried about it. Maximum, I'll wake him up. You know.
All right.
Well,
Anyways,
the potter is only while you're actually in the Seuda. Let's say you're in the Seuda.
I don't know. That doesn't say that.
So let me say, suppose you're in the Seuda, you get yourself so intoxicated, and you just stumble out of the house, and you see in the street one of these lovable characters that's giving cigarettes to little kids, and you've got and that upsets you so much, you take a branch and just smack him in the face with it and knock him over. But you're very intoxicated when you do it. Can that be considered a potter?
I'm going to read to you the Ramah, and you will know the answer to your
If
question.
you're planning it, it's not going to be able to.
Doesn't sound like you need to get so drunk.
De'im hizek es chaveru mikoyach simchas purim, not mikoyach your right?
I thought the fact
Indignation. I think that's the word we should use, right?
Yeah, I thought that in fact being intoxicated while you do it might let you off.
No, it doesn't say because you're intoxicated, you're putter. A person who made himself intoxicated is chayiv. Adam would oil. It's because we see this as part of the expression of hanging loose mikoyach the simcha of Purim. Okay. All right. Let's see.
That's we can't drive drunk on Purim.
Yeah, that's
I will not bother answering that question. Okay.
waiting to happen.
Omer al Hanisim b'birchas hamazon b'birchas haaretz. V'im hischel sudasai bayom u'mashchad alayla omer al Hanisim. You could still say al Hanisim. The boss at chilas sudas linon. V'yesh misha omer she'ein la'omroi because it goes basar when you bench. Just like we had this problem this last Shabbos. Yeah. V'nagin kesvara rishayna. Okay. Well, let's go weiter to Sif Dalet. Chayev lishlach lechaveroi shtei monas basar o shel mine oichlim shenamar mishalach monas ish l'reyehu. So the word monos is plural. V'shtei monas leish echad. V'chol amarba lishloyach l'reyim meshubach. Why should that be so? Okay, so what does that mean? That means that the side of the mitzvah is to be mar bereis. V'im ein loy, machlif im chaverei. This is a bit a difficult piece. Why? Because did you really get happier?
Yes, it was not someone else's. It's easy to eat someone else toiled for.
Okay.
It still increases a nice
You
feeling.
thought of me and I thought of you. We just can't afford to turn that into money.
But also,
But
when I was
we show that
when I was
we love
thinking in
each other.
school, there were plenty of kids who wanted to swap their lunches.
Yeah, but there are plenty, you know what? You're speaking about 50% of the class. The other 50% of the class didn't want to swap their lunches, right? There was the ones...
You need two people who want to swap.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but there's ones, all right.
It definitely expresses the gesture of giving. Just we can't afford to,
Give extra.
yeah. I'm expressing that I want to give to you. I just
All right.
want
You're doing the technical part of it.
No, it's not. It's more than just.
Right, he's saying the exact opposite of what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? All right.
It doesn't matter about whether the person, the recipient, is pleased with the gift. Like, for example, if someone gives the Rav and the Shalach Manos a packet of bamba, that's not really kavod, and I don't think the Rav would be particularly happy to receive that. Unless it comes from a kid. If it
The
comes from
Gemara
a-
discusses your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gemara says about an Amor who became mechubed in status. I can't remember the exact, and he still was giving the Shalach Manos the Bambam Bisley from the good old days. And his friend said to him,
Oh, he was giving out still.
yeah, and his friend said to him that, gotta adapt to the situation that you find yourself in. Okay? Now,
So he wasn't married. His wife wouldn't let him.
I can't answer that question. I don't recall the Gemara discussing it. But I think they were talking about the outfit that he was wearing. That was the problem. Anyways, these are not ma'akevim in Shalach Manos. These are the way to do things properly. I'll just share with you. Today, someplace, I was saying a shir on Matanos L'Evyonim. I'll just go to it right now because it's relevant over here. And they asked me how much money should you give for a shalach for Matanos L'Evyonim, and I said, if you want, in my opinion, you want to be machmer, al ikr de dina. Anything over 20 shekel is called me'al ikr de dina. Okay, now I wasn't aware that this was entrapment, that there was a different row that was there that said that you have to spend 50 shekel. And that was per ani. And I said, someone said, we heard 50 shekel. I said, I don't know where you heard that, but wherever you heard that b'shem Rabbi Yashav, right? So they said, yeah. So I said, okay, I'm aware of that too. I disagree. And I think no, let's make it clear. I'll explain to you exactly why I disagree. Rabbi Yashav said you have to, what it takes to buy a Seuda chashuva. How much does it cost to buy a piece of
meat?
How much does it cost to buy a quarter of a chicken and a serving of rice?
Cooked or
Cooked. You can still get it for 20 shekel. Believe Suffolk.
Maybe some place in Yerushalayim that's still.
You go to one of these take-out places for Shabbos. That's what it'll cost you.
Yeah.
One piece of chicken and a little bit of rice.
A quarter of a chicken.
Yeah.
A quarter of a chicken, right? That's the Mon Chashuva, right? When you make a simcha, you serve somebody. What? Reva'of, mufurish. Reva'of, and potatoes and rice, and you could still get that and take out for 20 shekel probably, right?
Maybe 25 shekel.
Not 50.
Yeah, 50 Rabbi. 50 get
What? No, I don't get it. I don't get it. I said I can't imagine that Rabbi Yashiv went to the restaurant to find out what it costs, and you don't have to go to the finest of restaurants either. You're getting food takeout. I don't know what it costs, but it doesn't cost. I don't think it costs 50 shekel, and I don't think that Rabbi Yashiv said this based on any sugya. It's based on information she was given, and in my opinion, he was given incorrect information.
Does that have to be based on takeout or buying the chicken and cooking it yourself?
Could be this place to say that for buy it, you're giving him money, right? So you have to be giving him food, right? If you want to buy him the stove, send that along. That's a different question. But that's a question. The food has to be prepared. Papashas has to be prepared. It has to be ready to eat.
By Matanos L'Evyonim, if you have two anim, can they also swap with each other to be able to?
There's a discussion about that, but again, there's always in all of these questions. I just want to make this clear. There's the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. We're trying to always be Makayim, not just the letter of the law, the spirit of the law. Okay?
The spirit of the law.
Yeah, okay, that's not the law, right? All right. V'yesh Shalach Manos b'yom v'lo b'layla. And if you send the Shalach Manos beforehand, and it was eaten beforehand, then you're not Yaitza. And I just will mention this is a very important Nakuda. I have an issue, nowadays not so bad as I used to have it, and This issue I have in both cities, Yerushalayim and in in Beit Shemesh. I come to my house on Purim night in Yerushalayim, Motzei Purim night, and sometimes I will find Shalach Manos by the door.
From people in Yerushalayim?
From people in Yerushalayim.
They came early?
Am I allowed to eat it, or do I have to return it? Why did they give me Shalach Manos?
To show you that they love you, that they know who you, they appreciate you.
Do I have a right to assume that?
Yes.
What?
They did not give it to you Medin Shalach Manos. They gave 50,000 other. Why not?
Okay. Okay. Nowadays, I don't think I really have the question because I know most people know that it's not muchach what day of Purim I'm holding, right? It's not, right?
I think if you return it, that'll be more of an insult than anything.
I just want to tell you something. Somebody came to the Brisker Rav on Purim to give him Shalach Manos, and it was late in the afternoon. And before he took it, he asked somebody, what time is it? Told him what time it is, and then he took it. So somebody asked him, why do you want to know what time it is? It's because there's a halacha in Shulchan Aruch saying Matanos L'Evyonim. So I wanted to make sure. Not Purim, I don't want it.
Here the taking is giving,
Okay.
That's like an increased raise.
What?
Yeah, you're going to send everybody back. They'll be so what did I do wrong?
No, but the person has, and this could happen. You're going to want to give me Shalach Manos. So you want to give one Shalach Manos, that's Muhuder.
Okay.
So you're going to give it to me. What a loser. What a loser.
I know the Rav.
So a second. You're saying anyways, everybody's Yetzer anyways, and nobody means anything anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
They mean to be marberes. That's they don't not mean anything. They mean to show.
Going to just leave it by the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
The Rav's probably not going to be home.
So therefore, if you would tell your wife, prepare for Rabbi Zachariash Shalach Manos, you would say you don't have to be makbid there to be 2 minim. 1 min is enough.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just
A gift.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's to be marberes.
Okay.
Today's
Fine.
giving, and I chose to give you.
Okay. Fine. Now next, Isha chayeves.
Probably look at me like, wow, I can't remember Shalach Manos at the moment.
Okay. Vim shalach manos lechaver when writes to lekablom oy moichelo yotza. Okay, the brisker was yotza. It's fine. It's the thought that counts. You don't have to get it. You don't have to incur the money. All right.
It doesn't have to make a kinyan in Shalach Manos.
You don't have to accept it.
Oh,
I just have to have seen the overture. That's the Rav Moshe. Those are chaylik. Aisha chayavas b'Matanos L'Evyonim u'b'Shalach Manos ki'ish. Now this is a very big problem. There are many fathers who think they do their daughters a favor, and they give Matanos L'Evyonim for their daughters. This is a mistake in chinuch, and it's a mistake even post chinuch, because there are many that say, "Well, we don't do that." So what do you mean you don't do that? My father never told us we have to give Matanos L'Evyonim. And I say, go and ask your father if he gave for you. So, of course I gave for you. But he never told them, so they don't know about it. And they don't know that they were chiyuv. They think that somebody sprung at them all of a sudden some new thing. So a person wants to give for their daughter, b'vakasha.
You're talking about ketanim or
Ketanim.
just teenage children? Are we talking about?
Wife. You have a wife? Does she give Matanos L'Evyonim?
Absolutely.
She does?
Yeah.
When does she give it?
She works in a place.
Okay. One second. I didn't ask if she takes. I asked if she gives.
She gives it too.
Yeah, I'm saying, but you understand that. So she's giving for you. You give her money to give.
No, we each give.
You each give. You 2 different envelopes.
I don't know if it's envelopes or transfers, whatever.
You did 2 separate accounts. It's get done twice.
Happy to
No, but so this
it's two amounts.
two doesn't, not one amount together.
It's two amounts. It's like if it's
Okay,
50,
fine.
so it'll be 2 times 50.
I understand. Okay, fine. Mitzvah. But it has to be done. It has to be done. That's what I'm just saying. Just because you have a mind, you're doing it. It's important. The person should know they're being l'kaim the mitzvah. Okay. A man should give to a woman. A woman should give to the man.
I've had people already call me for money, and they say they're going to give it out on that day.
Yeah.
Is that something I can rely on? And
If you can rely on them.
that's a question.
So who depends who the person is.
It's an organization, theoretically.
So most organizations, they do it. There's all different ways that this is done. This is the sugya of Matanos L'Evyonim is a very complicated sugya in today's environment. I'll just end off with one fascinating halacha l'maisa thing that is, I'm telling you, against what it says in the Rambam and in agreement with the Rambam at the same time. That's called v'nahapachu. The Rambam says, if you have, I already gave Matanos L'Evyonim kefi shitas Rabbi Yashiv, right? So now I want to give more. You're allowed to do that. You can take it from Maisa. That's 100% okay. Now I have a choice. I could give to another 2 aniyim 50 shekel, or I could give, like the Shitas Haritva, the Bir Halacha says, I could give a shekel to.
The Rambam says you should give tzedakah.
We should give to each, to a bunch of people. So should I consolidate and make big donations, or should I be mefazer and make small donations? So the Rambam in Pirsha Mishnah in Avos says that a person should make hakol kafi ribu hamaisa. They should make small donations, and therefore I say that you should give big donations. Now, how does 1 and 1 equal 3? Purim. How does it work? The answer is very simple. When I'm giving it to the organization, I'm giving to Kupas Tzedakah, L'man Achai, Vad Rabbanim, whatever. I'm not right now getting involved in which place it is. How many nesinas am I making? 1. But the Riba Mai says every time that how many times you take out of your pocket? Just 1. So the Rambam says better to give to more people because every action that you do affects you. Doesn't apply when you're giving to an organization that's dispersing the funds. So the inference of the Rambam is if it wouldn't be for this reason, it would be better to give to one person more. So I'm saying, not like the Rambam, according to the Rambam. From Purim, right?